You're listening to Feta Sports on the VSiN Podcast Network.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Feta Sports Podcast. Well, I am 2-6, 2 wins, 6 losses. That's why we're called the Fade Us Sports Podcast. Mike the Mouth Matusow is a 4-time World Series of Poker winner. He knows sports, studies sports, and watches more games than all of us combined. He has no life at all. But he is 7-1. The world is upside down. Mikey, 7-1. Fade him at your own peril. Mike, you're 7-1. You're going to lead off with our rant. Go.
Well, my rant's on the L.A. Rams. Last week, they screwed me by giving 2 block field goals to the Eagles, and I actually had money on them. This week, they screwed me because I'm all in on the Indianapolis Colts to win the Super Bowl, Danny Dimes to win MVP, and somehow they get dominated in this game and find a way to, well, my guy on Indy dropped a touchdown pass at the 1-yard line because he didn't want the 7 points. And then the Rams somehow found a way to catch some miracle to not only win, but cover the 3.5-point spread. This team has screwed me 2 weeks in a row where they were like 99% to win last week and 99% to lose this week, and somehow they have screwed me out of 2 bets.
Mike, if you would have gone to college, you would never have majored in math. That's all I can tell you. But I can say one man's, well, trash is another's treasure.
Was that another, hold on, Mike, was that another 99.5%?
Yeah, it really was.
Right,
it was.
They were up
how
7
many
points.
times out of 100 does a guy walking into the end zone for a touchdown drop the ball at the 1-yard line and it's a touchback? Like,
okay, Mike.
Exactly.
Okay, Mike.
Thank you.
David Woodley started Speed Survivor. Check out speedsurvivor.com. Our guy Woodley has great knowledge and sharp takes. Woodley, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, for once, I don't get a rant about the Kelsey brothers who acted like adults for 1 week. You know, Travis had a good game, and Jason, didn't show his ass on ESPN pregame, so that's good for him. No, my rant is on the Vikings, their GM, Kwesi, whatever his name is. He's fucking terrible. Like, he's done one good thing, and that was hired KOC, but that was after he fumbled the Harbaugh thing there as well. This guy let Daniel Jones walk, who's now like, Mike's hero, and not going to win MVP, but might finish top 5. They draft J.J. McCarthy, who threw 8 passes in college, looks like dog shit. They signed Carson Wentz, who's done absolutely nothing since he blew out his knees. And what do? They go and they lay a complete egg in Ireland, embarrass themselves. This team is going nowhere. And, and I actually went and looked where they got this clown from. He was like the assistant VP of personnel or some dog shit from the Cleveland Browns. The guy that was on a computer and said, hey, let's give Deshaun Watson $1 bajillion. And that's who our GM is. And here's the beauty of it. We just gave him an extension too. So we're fucked, as Minnesota teams are.
Woodley, get a life. Get a life. You have kids, man.
You texted me they were going to the Super Bowl last week. I said Carson Wentz. I typed in 2 words.
Week by week league.
Carson Wentz. Okay. All right. Woodley really does live that misery. Cantu. Now, hold on 1 second here. I'm going to introduce you. Then I'm going to ask you a question. Then you rant. Cantu's a 2-time World Series of Poker winner. Has some well-thought-out takes. Sadly, sometimes he bets his entire net worth on one game or on a series of 20 games in one afternoon. Okay, Cantu. I didn't see Taylor Swift the last few weeks.
She was at Boogie's wedding, Boogie's brother's wedding this weekend.
Oh,
really?
That's where she was.
Yeah, I got the special list. I should have brought that up.
It's
the
usually
special
me with
list
the
who was at Benny Blanco's wedding this week. I got the whole list of everything.
Who do you got?
Boogie said.
Give us drop some names.
You
Mike.
know, I know Taylor Swift was there. I know I was just not there was a bunch of people. If you would have told me, I would have brought it.
Benny Blanco played with us quite a bit on the app, and we all love him. I thought he played pretty good. Mike thinks everybody sucks at poker, but we're on Cantu. Cantu, give us your rant.
I used to have a lot of fun, and we talk about this week in, week out. We have this show is based off of a text stream that we have between all the guys, and it's usually a lot of fun. There's a lot of good sports knowledge, a lot of drama, injury update. Mike gives us his injury updates. We get to know all the drama. It is now, since Saturday, turned into a cesspool. It's like Woodley's just in there writing clown emojis to every comment that's made. That's boring, not funny, and stale. Then we've got Mike. This is what's really got me. Mike has turned this into a 1-800-GAMBLER chat. Right? Doesn't matter what I write, what I do. Oh, Cantu, doesn't matter. Can't beat NFL. I mean, like,
He's
okay,
like
well, if you
he.
can't-
Why don't
Mike,
you
let me
tell
finish.
everybody you put a? We can't even keep track. Your bet. He has like this long a bet of what he bet this week, and then we all text each other like, how did he bet every game in first half and quarter on the board? And then he says, "Well, I could win."
Are you done, Mike?
Yep.
Let me continue. So, where was I?
This is a terrible rant.
Yeah, I think it's a great rant. By the way,
I got just hijacked. I mean, it's Mike's
we're going to
rant.
finish this rant together, Cantu. I'm
Why
gonna
are you
finish it
so
with you.
scared of clowns? Like, what's your thing with
Woodley
clowns?
used the clown emoji. We're trying to bet if it was over 200 times or not.
No,
and
it was
right
over
away, I was so
500.
turned off. I'm like,
Not
what is he
a clown
doing?
emoji, a Mike the Mouth custom clown emoji. There's 4 types.
Yeah, but you
We're going to
didn't
put
like
them on the
funny.
podcast.
It wasn't funny. Okay, now
It wasn't
I
funny
kinda
the
know,
first time.
I kind of know where I was going with this. It's that
Mike
Mike,
liked it.
no matter if I'm about to say anything, I'm like, Dodgers plus, I don't know. I did, who just won at plus 350? I go, Red Sox plus 350. Gambling problem. Bet more, bet more, bet more. Like, no, I mean, it's just.
Because every single game, every single halftime, every single quarter, you text us who you
a
got.
sports betting chat, Mike.
It's not a
You can write
DGen
this-
chat. It's a sports betting chat. Like,
Okay,
who do you
well,
guys
Mike-
bet this week? Like Woodley will say, I bet these two games.
Mike,
Let
you're
me
not.
finish.
You're lecturing
You can have
Cantu.
your own rant. So
Mike.
here's what I'm going to do for you guys. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys because you're so worried. I don't need any from any. I don't need from Phil, Mike, Woodley. I don't want to hear the 1-800-GAMBLER emoji. I don't think that's funny either. I just like.
Mike likes
I
it.
don't know. You know what? I'm telling you guys, I'm going to beat it. So what I'm going to start doing, I told him I could beat sports. I'm going to beat the NFL. I'm going to post how I did at the end of each day, at the end of each week, and I'm going to give you an update if you guys would like it. So here we are.
All right, let me just say this, Cantu. First of all, there are a few people that beat the NFL. We talked about that, but
Stop
But
it.
to be fair, it's
Seriously.
like I think it might be like 5 or 6 people out of like the million bettors. And so Cantu chose to go after this segment of the population, the like 1 in 200,000 guy.
Well, I'm
Cantu
betting
decided
it's
he could
such.
become.
I'm betting it's such reduced juice. I'm betting it minus 105 both sides, minus 105 on quarters, halves. I could sit there really small juice on props. I could sit there and get real cute, which can cause for a lot of bets. Now, if I was betting minus 110 on both sides, you can't sit there and blast, or minus 115 on some of the quarters or whatever. You can't sit there and blast. I'm blasting where I've only got to hit 51.
Since we're a betting betting podcast,
51.25%. But Mike wants the no fun podcast. He doesn't want any betting or gambling. Why are you doing a sports
since
podcast?
we're on the sports podcast,
promoting gambling.
let's bet how many games under 500 Cantu will be betting as many games as he bets. I will say he will be a minimum of losing 40 units. What do you guys say?
Ooh.
I'm betting 200. I've already told everybody I'm betting 200 a game. Yes, I'm putting in a lot of volume, and it's not that much.
Okay, guys, I hate to steer you away from whether or not we think Cantu is a compulsive sports bettor or not. But I think probably the audience has heard enough. That's enough. I will just say this. I'm a little disappointed in my Green Bay Packers. All right? Like, I just don't even know what happened. They should have beat Cleveland. Now, I'm like Woodley. I really like the Packers. I'm also like a Niners guy. But I'm not going to go into a long rant here because I'm kind of looking forward to our picks. And guys, we gave you 4 rants at home. And before we move on,
What was your rant? Just the
going to the
Packers?
commercial, yeah, my rant is a little bit about the Packers, but you guys have gone so long on the rants. I'm just going to go into a read, Mike, and I'm going to say goodbye to our fans for a second here, and
that's
we'll be right
sad.
back. But let me read first. Fade Us Sports, our VSiN podcast that brings a poker player's mindset to every bet. Get our no-holds-barred survivor pool strategies. We're pretty good at survivors. And see precisely how seasoned gamblers approach sports betting. Make sure you catch all the episodes of Fade Us Sports podcast as soon as they come out. The only way to do that is to follow Fade Us Sports wherever you get your podcasts, or head to vsin.com, VSIN.com, betdq.com/podcasts. Okay, guys, we're coming back after the break with our number one picks.
This is Veda Sports, only on the VEASAN Podcast Network.
All right, we're back from the break. And at the break, Mike said to us, Phil, would you like me to pick first since I'm the hottest? Since I'm 7-1, this guy is unbearable. He's 7-1. He tells us last year, okay, we said, Mike, how did you do the first 5 weeks of the season? We knew he was 1-9. He said, I don't know. But he sure knows he's 7-1.
That's because last year, when we picked on Tuesdays, I had not even looked at who was even playing. Now that I know we have to pick on Tuesdays, I literally start going through the lineups on Sunday. Then I go through the injuries on Monday, and then try and piece together something by Tuesday.
Mike, you can't bluff us. We see you've picked 40 games. You're 19-21, but somehow you did give all of the people at home 7-1. Meanwhile, I'm like,
and how many of those 40 games did I bet, Phil?
And I'm 23-17 in that league, and somehow I'm 2-6. Mike, give us your number one pick.
All right, my number one pick is the team that I was 2 weeks ago, my number one pick, and the team that I'm riding all in with on this year, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts dominated a Ram team that has dominated everybody, and somehow, some way, by a guy deciding that on the touchdown that would have put the game away, he's going to drop the ball at the 1 yard line, which somehow left the Rams in the game, which somehow found a way for the Rams to win a game that they had no business to win. So I'm riding with the Colts. I am laying 6.5 points. And I did lay $1. No, I laid $1.10. Yes. 6.5 points.
Mike, by the way, he fumbled the ball literally like the 6-inch line. I love your pick. This was almost my number one pick, too. I love
They're going against the Raiders. The Raider team that literally led the awful Chicago Bears last week, the entire game. But again, another one of my losses that I had last week in the pick'em, which was the Raiders, they found a way, the Raiders, to lose. And I knew when they were lining up for the field goal, they were going to lose because that's what the Raiders do. And so now they got to go to the East Coast against what I think has been the most dominant team in the NFL through 4 weeks. Yeah, they're 3-1. They dominated the Rams in every facet.
Really the East Coast, though?
I mean,
no, it's not. It's the fucking Central, dude.
Whatever, East Coast, Central. The bottom line is this: that you guys are going to see.
It's like a 3-hour flight from the East Coast.
You are going to see how dominant this Indianapolis Colts team is, and that last week's gift, which they gifted away, was not a reality.
Mike,
because they're on their way to the number one seed and a berth in the Super Bowl. The Indianapolis Colts -6.5.
First of all, you declared earlier in the podcast you were all in on Danny Dimes. No, you bet like $300 on him to win.
No, I'm all in on the season on Danny Dimes. I bet $1,000 to win the Super Bowl at 36-1. I bet Danny Dimes at 80-1 to win the MVP. I am all in on the Indianapolis Colts.
Can I hop in here real quick and talk about why Mike did place that bet? Because he texted us. He said, "I'm not making this up.
No, it's true.
I had a dream last night that Danny Dimes was holding the Lombardi trophy." So that's Mike's analysis.
It was a vivid dream, Woodley. I called
it very vivid. I was right on my last two dreams.
He woke up, had to change his boxers. It was very vivid.
Listen, they've been the most dominant team. Going into last week, they had only punted once. And they did punt twice last game.
But you know what else they did last week, Mike? Your boy toy Danny Dimes threw 2 interceptions. He had -1 yards running the ball. It's almost like the teams figured out how to scheme against a dude that is not a very good quarterback. And trust me, I wish he was on the Vikings. But
let me ask you something: if the guy didn't decide at the 6-inch line, he didn't want the football, would the other interception have happened late in the game? Right, exactly.
They only would have went up. They only would have went up a touchdown. You act like the game was over. You act like he fumbled it with 1 second to go in the game. Like can't.
That changed the entire complexity of the game.
Well,
the Rams couldn't get a yard.
That's the complexity of the game.
I've seen this movie a lot of times where teams are doing really good, really hot, like a team out of nowhere, like the Colts. something like this happens where they drop, they're celebrating the touchdown and drop the ball a few inches early, and their team just collapses and implodes after
No,
that. And I
it's-
feel like
That's why I like
that's
changed
what's
everything.
about.
That's why I like the Raiders.
That's what's about to happen. That's what's about to happen to the Colts right here. If they would have won it and held on, I actually think they would have covered against the Raiders. I feel like that's done something mentally.
Well, I felt that
They're
about
not
what
gonna
happened
be-
with the
let me
Rams
finish.
last
Let me
week when they
finish.
gave away the game to the Eagles, right? So that then what did I do?
Mike,
Are you
Mike,
done,
stop.
Mike?
We're talking about the Colts, and you haven't shut up the whole time. Cantu, what do you who do you
Yeah.
like in this game?
I like the Raiders, and the Raiders they should have. They're not playing that bad. The Raiders are playing really good at every position, but the quarterback, Geno Smith,
Important
Geno
position.
Smith,
What a
Well,
position!
I know that's why I put it like
It's
that.
like the
They're playing-
Eagles are terrible at everything except
Mike.
special teams.
Tell me when, Mike. Tell me when you're done, buddy. Tell me when you're done. No, I know they're playing good at every position, but the quarterback. The quarterback is the key thing. If they could just get it figured out, I don't know what they're gonna do to make Geno stop throwing the 3 interceptions a game, because they're costly. They're always the worst, most inopportune times. It's never that he's throwing it down deep downfield either. It's like these little dunk passes. I still like the Raiders. I think they figure it out.
Now, I had my finger above the betting on this last night. I thought about this game for 30 minutes. I kept going back and forth, because the Raiders with Pete Carroll, they have a real coach. They have a real everything. Geno Smith certainly had some great games last year, and as we all know, he throws a lot of picks in the red zone. He can't seem to get it done there. But I that's why I didn't choose them. I mean, but I would say that it's maybe my 5th pick. Woodley, did you give us a side on this? We're talking now about the Raiders going to Indianapolis and giving up 6.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders. 6.5's too much. I think Geno looked terrible. I mean, the Raiders, they've now pissed away a couple games.
They really have.
Carroll's a good coach, though. He'll get Geno in line. I think they keep it. I don't think they win, but 6.5's a lot in the NFL.
Trade for Russell Wilson. Trade for Russell Wilson. Maybe the Raiders make that trade.
Cantu, you're the craziest Russell Wilson person I've ever seen.
Love
Woodley,
Russell
you want to make another comment on this or not? As soon as you're done, we're also going to have you give us your number 1 pick of the week.
No, I mean, I just think it's comical that Mike, his entire basis the rest of this year is going to be because of some stupid dream he had. And we're going to have to hear about it nonstop.
I watched him punt once the first 3 weeks. I watched him dominate the Rams last week. I'm still all in.
Yeah, we know, Mike. It'll be fun. This will be a fun one.
Okay. Woodley, give us if you're ready, give us your number 1 pick.
Well, I'm nothing but a idiot. So this will
Not
probably
the
be the last time. This will probably be the last time I do it.
No, he's not doing the fucking shitburger Vikings. No way.
Well, they're on. They're hanging out in Europe. They're playing the one team with a worse quarterback room than them, in the Browns, and they're in a must-win spot. The Browns are bad. The Browns
wait,
can't
Woodley,
score.
did you say? Sorry to correct me. Where is this game?
It's in London.
Guys,
so they've already been there for a week. They have an advantage over. That's a big advantage over the Browns being tired.
Also, did you guys hear that Dylan Gabriel is now starting? Just a quick update for the Browns.
Oh, well,
I did not know this.
It's even they're like the
Rookie
Vikings.
quarterback first fucking start in
Yeah, the
Dublin?
Vikings. Here's the thing: Flacco.
London.
Flacco's not good, but Flacco's like a veteran, so he's not gonna like make 5 bad passes. The Vikings will win this game. They'll win it handily. Like I hope Wentz doesn't throw the ball more than like 15 times because he really shouldn't need to. Just lean on the
Woodley,
defense.
what's the line, Woodley?
3.5.
3.5 to 4.5.
I was wondering why it moved from 2.5 to 3.5. Now I know.
Yeah, but it's a must-win game for them. They're a better team. Wentz is terrible, but you still have Jefferson and Addison and like even that Steelers game where they got completely dominated. And a lot of this was Tomlin's fault, but they were 20 yards away with 40 seconds left to tie in that game, and then Wentz it all up. So this is still a team. As much as I hate them, they're still a borderline playoff team, and the Browns are going nowhere.
Okay, I'm gonna comment on this game first, then Mikey, because I think Cantu may have selected the opposite team in this one. So let's go to Mikey first. Mikey, what do you think?
I mean, I like the under a lot in this game, especially now that I heard that Gabriel's
We're not
playing.
talking about the under.
But the truth of the matter is Cleveland's got a dominant defense, a lot better defense than the one that just sacked Wentz 7 times.
I'm sorry. How many did they give up? We heard this from you too about how
What was
it was
it 27 to 10?
Mike said it
week?
was it was like 37. Mike said it was one of the best defenses he's seen in his entire life.
I mean,
By the way-
Detroit is the best team in the NFL. So
By the way, the
Okay.
total on this game is 36.5. You want
Yeah,
to
I
talk
figured it'd be
about
low
low on that crappy field they
I
have
was
out there.
looking at
in
that total. I was thinking about making it a pick of mine. Even the under, with as great as these defenses
low.
are.
listen, I think that Minnesota's defense is a lot better than they showed last week. But I know Cleveland's defense is really good. I can't lay 3.5 with the Vikings. I mean, unless they're playing that awful Bengal team.
I like the Vikings, and I'll tell you what, I knew I was on the fence with this one, but you kind of cinched it for me there, Woodley. And we're talking about they're staying over in Europe. So they're going to be much more acclimated to the schedule over there. They're going to be ready. I mean, this game, it happens at 5 a.m. You know, it's ridiculously early. And so it's a lot for
6:30.
Cleveland to adjust to. And so, yeah, I like your side of this one, Woodley. And Cantu, what do you think? Is this your number one pick the other direction?
No. Oh, no.
Okay.
I put a lot, man, I watched that Vikings game. It sure was ugly for 3.5 quarters. That last 5-6 minutes, Minnesota came to play. God, it was disappointing. But, you know, I am a big Kevin O'Connell fan. I think he gets everything figured out. They're going to have a lot of time. Phil, Mike, I mean, how many times have we went over in the first 5 days? We can't even think straight because we're so backwards on that time zone.
Correct.
Well, it's with them. They're all going to be adjusted to that time zone by the time it's game time. Cleveland will not. I think that's a difference maker. As it's very hard to be
The Jags stayed there last year. They got blown out in both the games. Congratulations.
They got to be in prime shape, bodies, you know, clicking at the right time. Danny, we have a unanimous pick. Please,
No,
do.
Mike,
No, we
went the
don't.
other direction,
I don't want no
Cantu.
fucking Vikings. Are you insane?
But I will
Wouldn't
say
be caught
this.
dead with laying 3.5 with that.
No, we don't,
shitburger
Danny.
team.
No, we don't.
No, but let me say this. It's pretty interesting. I think you're the number one thing. This Kevin O'Connell is one hell of a quarterback coach. So, you know, that kind of, so it's 3-on-1. We're all against Mikey. All right, Cantu.
He got Wentz sacked 7 times last week. How'd he do?
Cantu, come with your number one pick.
All right. Number one pick. I'm going to go. I went back and forth between my number one and my number two, and I am going to go Lions at Bengals. Lions -10 on the road going to the Bengals. I actually think you're starting it out that the Lions, after how bad they looked in week one, might actually be the best team in the NFL. Like, they're up there. They're my top three. Those top three are constantly moving. The Lions look great. They're moving up and down the field. It's something that stuck with me that Mike brought up in the first week, that the Lions coach said this is his best team that he's ever had. It's kind of, and I was like, at first I thought, you know, what a joke of a comment, but man, ever since week one where they were a little sleepy, they have come on and they're looking like maybe it is their best team.
Let me just
I
tell you
think they
something,
could-
ladies and gentlemen. My number one pick is Detroit Lions -10 at Cincy. Now, I couldn't find it listed anywhere last night. I kept looking. Where are they? It wasn't
It was
listed.
off the
And
board in a lot of places.
When Cantu put this in the chat, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. Now, Mike will tell you, Phil, he's betting a big underdog on the road, blah, 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 blah. But we'll see.
Big favorite. I'm betting a big
Correct.
favorite.
And thank you for that, Cantu. And by the way, I couldn't believe how bad Cincinnati looked yesterday, and Browning. And
Terrible.
I mean, what did they score? 3 points? Did they get a late touchdown to make it up to 10?
It was not only that. They looked bad at the 3 points.
Yeah, and Cantu, this offense, now it reminds me of Detroit last year. I bet $25,000 on Lions to win 10 or over. After the Packers smacked them, a little doubt entered my mind because the Pack just smacked them week one. But they have been dismantling teams. And this is not the coach. Dan Campbell is not the coach that's going to take his foot off the gas. He's going to go in there and he's going to play to win. And if he wins this game 54-0, more likely 54-14, he's not going to be afraid to do it. He won't let his team down. So yes, I love this. You and I, our number one picks are aligned. Mikey, what do you got?
Okay, this is where you guys are a bunch of fucking suckers. Okay, and I'm gonna explain exactly
Whoa,
why.
that's a
First
bit
of all, teams that lay 10 points or more on the road are something ridiculous, like 30% lifetime. Well, I'm guessing, but it's probably less.
Wait,
Number one.
Mike, did the odd makers know that it's 30% lifetime?
Whatever. The bottom line is, this is why I hate this pick, and I'm gonna go no farther than this. Hate. Who does Detroit play the following fucking week?
Kansas City.
There you go. And it's
Mike
why
with his
this is
on
why.
deck.
But no, this on deck is huge because they're
gloves on
going
deck.
they're going to Kansas City next week. So it's going to be back-to-back roads. They're now going to – you're talking about laying 10 points in the NFL on the road where the team that's not going to be fired up. Like, they'll play, but they were not going to be playing all out. And this is huge. When you got the Kansas City Chiefs on deck, I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but laying 10, they might be resting people and get backdoored. I'm never laying 10. I don't care what I witnessed the last
Campbell
few
doesn't
times.
rest anybody. He always goes.
Yeah,
full
he's an
out.
idiot.
Woodley?
Yeah, that. I was actually gonna say that. I actually agree with what Mike says a lot on that. But Campbell's an idiot. Like, he doesn't rest guys. He'll go. He's a maniac. He'll
You
just.
still got to get them fired up for a game.
They'll
And
be
the team
fired up
knows-
because they'll do it like they did last year. They'll expand all their energy. They'll beat the shit out of everybody in the regular season by 30 points, and then they'll lay an egg in the playoffs because they'll be dead because they're not a championship caliber team. So I don't like it. I'm not going to do it, but for the sake of this podcast, I'll take the Lions because I'll just take the Lions because like they won't let up on the gas because they don't like he thinks that.
There's no
He
way
thinks
I'm
that doing
betting-
that
I'm not
he-
betting the Lions.
He
but I'm
thinks
just
he
saying,
thinks
I
he
say
thinks
too much.
that by taking it easy, like it shows weakness. And what they're going to do is they'll win by 30, and
He
they'll get
doesn't take it
smoked.
easy.
And they'll get smoked by Kansas City the next week because they're going to be idiots and
If
go.
they do win
for
by
more.
30 this week, I'm going to be all in on Kansas
Yeah.
City against
So-
them. I agree with you.
So I don't like it either way, but I'm going to take Detroit on this because Mike, I agree with everything you said though. If it was any other coach other than Campbell, because any other coach would be like, yeah, you know what, we're going to go out and we're going to win. And we're going to chill. We're not going to show the playbook. They'll probably throw like a triple reverse up 30 points for some reason because that's what he does.
Guys, my last word on Detroit. Campbell is not going to let that team lose after they lost that first game. Listen, we've given our number one picks. The Fade Us Sports Podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Splash Sports. If you don't know Splash, the founders bought the office football pool sites Run Your Pool and Office Football Pool, and they're live in 40 states and Canada. Download the Splash Sports app, currently sitting at number 7 in the Sports App Store, and climbing, might be number 5. And you'll find all sorts of contests and bets starting at $5. Thanks again to Splash for sponsoring the Fade Us podcast. On the other side of the break, we're going to give you our number 2 picks.
This is Veda Sports, only on the VEASAN Podcast Network.
Welcome back to the Fade Us Sports Podcast. We gave you our rants. We gave you our number 1 picks. We argued about everything under the sun. Mikey, 7-1 on the podcast. No one here believes it, but we have evidence you're 7-1. Mike, what's your number 2 pick?
Well, my number 2 pick is just going with the trend, going against the worst 4-0 team in the history of the NFL, a team that's negative 347 yards or 347 points on the season, yards. I had it right the first time.
Points.
And a team whose quarterback is ranked 24th, whose running back is ranked 22nd, whose wide receiver isn't even ranked in the top 65, A.J. Brown. And I took 4. This line opened 5.5. I went to go bet it. By the time I got to bet it, it was down to 4. By the time I bet it, now it's down to 3.5. I'd take the 3.5. They're going to win outright against this team. I'm taking Denver plus 4. I see a team in Denver that's 2-2. They lost 2 games at the buzzer. They should have won both of them against Indy with the ridiculous that got me a win instead of a push. And they should have had they had the Chargers beat the entire game the week before. They should be 4-0. They're sitting on 2-2. They're a dominant defense. They're a dominant team. And
4-0?
they are
What are you talking about?
they are what people think the Eagles are. They have been dominant in 4 games. The Eagles have been
Fucking
absolute piss poor in all 4
insane.
games. I'm taking the 4 and I already bet them for 2K.
Nobody hates Philadelphia more than Woodley. Thoughts, Woodley?
I mean, I hate everything about Philadelphia, but I still have a brain. I mean, 24 hours ago, before the Denver game, Mike the whole week was saying that Cincy was going to beat Denver. He was like,
You bet them on the money line. Don't put me in that category. Don't put me in that category.
You said
they were
fade
gonna
them.
Play. I said they were going to. I thought they would cover. They were terrible.
You said fade. You said fade them in Survivor is what you said.
I used all 8 of my Denver's week 1, so I don't know.
All right. Anyways, Mike thinks that Denver's a world beater now. Dude, I mean Philadelphia. Like, I would maybe give some credence to it if it was like this ho-hum team, but you're talking about a team that has won 20 of their last 21. They completely destroyed the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And it's not like the Chiefs was a fucking fluke team. The Chiefs have made it, 5 of the last 6 years? Like, they were a dynasty themselves. Like, they were favorites in the game. Like, they destroyed them. I mean, this is just a very, very good team. And you're pointing out things like total yards, which is utterly meaningless when you're
Barkley
talking about
is ranked not even in the top 22 in rushing. Their passing
cares?
game had
Mike,
0 yards last week, second half.
They don't need them. They're just doing what
Yeah,
they
you're
need
right.
to
The
do.
special teams, they'll keep blocking the punts and keep blocking the field goals.
I mean, they were up by over 3 touchdowns.
They've won
early.
20.
I mean, really,
They've won
you don't even
20
need to
of their
throw the
last
ball.
21.
Dude, this isn't the Eagles' defense of last year. This team sucks.
They're playing Philadelphia, which is a tough place to play. Denver's traveling east. You know, I mean, you just said Indianapolis in the East Coast, so like by that theory, like Denver's in Hawaii. I hate to pick the Eagles. I really hate to pick the Eagles, but I'm taking the Eagles. Like they'll smoke them.
Okay, first of all, this game is at Philadelphia. Okay, and who are the Denver Broncos to lay 4 points against Philly? Philly might be one of these
Denver's
teams.
not laying 4 points,
Mike,
buddy.
Who are they to be within 4 points of the great 20 out of 21 Philadelphia Eagles who turn it on and off at will? Mike's like,
I heard that with
do this,
Kansas City last year when I said how bad they were. They turned it on.
Yeah, and they made it to the
Yeah,
Super
how'd
Bowl.
they do?
They made it to the Super Bowl.
They made the Super
They
Bowl.
went 16-1.
Guys,
They were literally, what were they, 15
15
They
and
only
two,
lost
yes.
by 40 in the Super Bowl.
Mike lost like $50,000 or $100,000 betting against Kansas City, telling us how bad they were every year as they kept going to the
And
Super
winning.
Bowl. Now he hates Philadelphia,
Guys,
which is a great
let
sign
me
for
make
Philly.
some sense. Let me make some sense out of everything you guys are saying. First off, the Broncos are so mid. I can't. They might be the most mid of mid teams. There's just stone average. There's nothing. I can't stand the Broncos. I even like them as a team. I just don't like this team. They're the 15th or 16th best team. Here's the sense I want to make out of this. The Eagles have covered 3.5 out of, what is it, 16 of 17 or 17 of 18 they've won. Other than the game they lost, they've won all but one game. They've won by 4 or more. This has been an absolute juggernaut. Whether Mike's like, oh, they didn't have any passing yards. Come on, you're up three touchdowns.
They didn't have any
now.
rushing yards or passing yards, buddy. They
You
got all
don't
the
need any
points on-
yards when you're up that much. I mean, this is a very good Philly team. They're going to figure it out. Give me
Well,
the
they'll
Eagles.
figure it
I
out, but
think
they're not very good right now.
I think they're going to roll. They're going to roll.
They literally.
They won 20 out of 21 games, and Mike
ball
keeps
over.
telling us how bad
Yeah,
they
I
are.
told you.
They're
you
always.
know what? I told you how bad they were 2 years ago when they were 10-1. I said this is the worst 10-1 team I ever seen, and they lost 8 in a row. So shut the fuck up.
They won't do that this year. They won't do that this year.
I mean, Mike, you're very, very violent
Sorry.
there. What is?
Sorry.
Are you having a bad
No.
day?
Bad med
No,
day. Bad
no,
med day.
I'm having a good day.
I think here's the problem: is like the three of us have been on the other side of Mike. Like Mike feels beat up right now. He's like, people are beating me up. We're not beating you up, Mike. We disagree about the Philadelphia Eagles. They've won 20 out of 21 games, and you say they suck. We're all laughing.
Let me
at
tell you what, the friggin' Minnesota Vikings are great. They've won 16 out of 20. Who gives a fuck what they did last year? I don't care if they're 4-0 this year. They're not a good football team right now. Not saying they won't be. But right now they're not.
No, you did say they wouldn't.
I said
be.
they no.
You said
they could be. As a matter of fact, they could be the best team in football by the end of the year. Right now, they're terrible, and they're not what their record is. That's all.
Terrible.
So here's the difference, Mike. There's a little bit of illusion, or I like the word illusion, or illusory is kind of a good word too, right? I think they're the kind of team that could just turn it on when they need to turn it on. And they remind me of the Kansas City Chiefs, who aren't necessarily motivated every week, but they do enough to get it done the last few years. Yeah, and so to me, the Philadelphia is kind of a clear choice. I love them. Now, Mike, before you can get mad at us,
I want you guys going against me. You guys, all you guys are losers. What are you each 2-6? So keep going against me. I'll keep printing out the money.
I am 2-6,
printing out
Mike.
the money, printing out the money.
Okay, now we're gonna go to David Woodley for his number 2 pick.
Yeah, I'm going to switch it up on you guys because the line has moved way too much. I was going to take the Rams when it was 5, but now it's 6.5, about to be 7.
Wow. I saw 5.5 before the show.
Yeah,
I saw 5.5
it's
yesterday.
It's 6.5 now.
Is Purdy out again? Who's out for this line to move this much?
I don't know.
There's the bad team.
It's just bad team.
Wow.
But I'm gonna take the Chiefs on the road. A little scary. 3.5 points. A little scary. Favorite over the Jaguars. But I think it's pretty simple. All Pat Mahomes needs is like a NFL caliber receiver, and that is a Super Bowl caliber team. Like, they looked pretty rough this first few weeks. Again, like Travis Kelce, we give him a hard time on this podcast. He lost them 2 of those games on his own, and they had no wide receivers. During this time, Thornton has actually gotten better each week. Thornton's like a legit receiver now, but they got Xavier Worthy back, and Xavier Worthy is we could debate, is he a true wide receiver 1 or not? Whatever. Very good wide receiver, put up 180 in the Super Bowl. They got Worthy back. They look completely different. They kind of actually know they don't have to win out, but they have to win this game. Jacksonville is riding high. Jacksonville has looked very good. The Jacksonville coach was literally like threatening to beat up Robert Saleh, and that was a bad decision because Robert Saleh would destroy him. That. Like if there weren't 10 football players in between them, I don't think he's mouthing off to Robert Saleh.
What did he say? What did he say? I didn't hear.
I saw the uncut version was pretty ugly.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. He was just like,
yeah, you have to see the uncut version, but it's
yeah, we don't need to get into it. Anyways,
instead, Woodley,
they're on a high.
Chiefs. Woodley, I'm going to take the mantle because my number 2 pick is Chiefs. I was able to bet it last night at 3, and I had to give up like 5% juice. But for the purpose of the show, I guess we have to use 3.5 as the number. Love the Chiefs. They were my number 1 pick until the Detroit popped onto my screen, and I'm like, oh, Detroit's going to kill. But I love the Chiefs. And let me just tell you something. That defense, I don't know, I know Mike will tell you, and a lot of people will tell you that the best defense in the league is Cleveland. Sometimes I wonder if the best defense in the league, when the money is on the line, isn't the Chiefs.
100%,
bro. I'm with you on that. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we'll give them. So even Mike agrees. So if Mike agrees,
never agrees.
So then Mike never agrees.
I've known how good the defense has been. They've only made 3 Super Bowls because of the defense. But this year, Patrick Mahomes looks way different.
Yeah, Mahomes had nothing to do with the other Super Bowls, Mike. Yeah, you're totally right. Mahomes had nothing to do with
it. He wasn't even in the top 10 in passing the last 3 years, okay?
Just get the
defense won them all, got them all the Super Bowls. But that's not okay, listen. Mike. This was going to be my number 2. Okay,
Mike, let me finish. I'm almost done, and I'll hand it off to you. I will say that he has a lot more people to throw to. And last year, for a long stretch, he didn't have a lot of receivers, didn't have a lot of people to throw to. You know this. And they still went, 15-2, or whatever crazy, 15-1 or 14-2. Crazy. So, yeah, I love the Chiefs in this. Like I say, that was going to be my number 1 pick. So now, Mike, tell us, First of all, the line's 3.5. Kansas City's in Jacksonville. First of all, which side do you like, and tell us why?
This was going to be my number 2 pick, but it was 3 minus 115 when I was going to actually bet 2K on it. And then I went and said, this line is very shallow, and Jacksonville's got 9 turnovers, 3 straight games. I said, what's going on here? And that's when I looked, and I'm going to go right back to this. They have Detroit on deck next week. And I'm not saying, but that's why this line is was open with 3 minus 115. I think they're going to win. It's going to be a very close game. Don't go by what you saw last week when the Ravens lost 6 of their best defensive players and their quarterback. Okay. The Kansas City plays close games. That's what they do. So at 3.5, I'm not gonna take Kansas City. I will pass. I would take the Jags or nothing. So I'm gonna say
Cantu, what are you thinking, Cantu?
It's kind of funny. At first, I was thinking clear, like I was liking Jacksonville. The more I think about it, this is kind of a Chiefs. God, they looked really good this last week against Baltimore. Felt like they figured it out after. I was like, oh, this is the end. I was kind of like, this is the end of the dynasty as far as like really, those 12 wins plus.
They win by more than 3 last year, though?
They, as far as winning like 12 games plus. But I'm liking, the more I think about it, it's funny. I'm kind of like Mike. I'm going to go with a pass. I think it's going to be a close game. Jaguars are playing tough. So you're
taking the Jags?
Wow.
I'm going with a pass. I'm going to pass.
You can't pass.
Okay, let him pass. It's okay. We don't want to force him in.
No opinion.
Cantu guessing doesn't do us much good, so we'll let you get away
Cantu
with that.
bet
Okay,
a
guys,
million
listen.
first quarters, and he won't pick the game on this one?
Nope.
Insane.
It's a good. The guy he passed on a bet in fucking his life.
I might have something by
Oh
Monday.
my God,
but
you guys!
Right now, it's a
you guys
pass.
are the worst. Okay, look. All right, one more person was number 1 pick, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. Let me just say, the VEASAN Average Joe contest, sponsored by Edge Boost, is heating up, and this weekend is the final week of the first quarter. Make 7 picks each week, NFL or college, for your shot at $500. Already have an Edge Boost account. That prize doubles to $1,000. Quarterly winners get airfare to Vegas, a 2-night stay at Circa Resort, and a guest spot on a VEASAN show. It's free to play. Join now at VEASAN.com/Joe. VEASAN.com/Joe. It's a free roll, and I can just tell you, Woodley and I, we love Edge Boost. We're going to be in Vegas next week supporting Edge Boost, and we'll see you in about 2 minutes when we come back from the break with Cantu's number 2 pick.
This is Veda Sports, only on the VEASAN Podcast Network.
Guys, welcome back to the Fade Us Sports Podcast Show with our number 2 pick coming from Brandon Cantu. What is your second pick of the week, Cantu?
Bucs at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are -3. Now, earlier today, I was sitting
They're 3.5
at
everywhere now.
3. It's 3, Mike. Thank you.
3.5, whatever. Hey, Cantu, which side do you like?
I like the Seahawks. I'm going to do a little bit of a homer pick, and here is why I'm going to like the homer pick.
Mike, are you shocked that Cantu picked the Seahawks?
No, this was close to my top 4 pick, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, but he always picks the Seahawks.
Yeah, well, he can't help himself.
Go ahead, Cantu.
So
He could have laid 2.5 2 days ago.
So earlier in the day, I was going to bless you guys with a strategy that I think I've caught on to that would help us beat NFL betting, and I wrote this into our group chat. I was gonna tell Mike my little secret, but it is a hard thing to measure. And here's what the Seahawks are doing right in today's NFL. It's about the special teams, especially the kickoff special teams. The Seahawks are starting on average. The last time it feels like they're starting about 10 or 15 yards ahead of all the other teams. They're returning it well, kicking it well. It's getting them off of this great field position on where they start. There's other teams that just can't figure out the new kicking rule. And whether it's teams are doing the high kick now on the kickoff, they're doing the low kick. It's different forms of returning, and some teams are just doing it a lot better. I want to start measuring where each team is coming off the kickoff, and because I think Seattle's starting about 10 yards ahead of everybody else. But I could just be in my head. I'm going to measure this out exactly, and that's one of the main reasons is how good they're starting on their field position.
Okay, Cantu, it's interesting. You did call me with this, and you're like, Phil, there's this really kind of interesting phenomena happening with the kickoffs, and some teams just aren't doing it right. And it does seem that way. It does seem like some teams seem to be dumber than other teams. Now, I'm gonna let Mikey weigh in on this pick. Mike, what do you think?
So I know this line opened at 2 minus 120. I went to go look at the line. It was 3.5. I'm like, how could this line be moving to 3.5? This is insane. So then, because originally I was going to make Tampa Bay one of my best picks, then I went and looked at injuries. Injuries just from this weekend with Tampa Bay. Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, exited game hamstring injury. Hassan Reddick, edge rusher, left with a stinger, being evaluated for concussion. Greg Gaines, defensive lineman, did not return, pectoral muscle injury. James Dean, cornerback, ruled out with a hip groin injury. And Bucky Irving finished the game, is undergoing MRI for injury sustained from a hip drop tackle. That's not even including Mike Evans being out, the tight end, Clef out.
I like this.
And Cantu, the defensive end, season-ending injury. So this team got just decimated by injuries against the Eagles, which is why this line moved from 2.5 to 3.5, because I knew lines don't cross from 2.5 to 3.5 unless something is severely wrong here. So with that saying, I'm the guy that bets injuries, because I do believe in injuries. It sucks. I wish I would have got down at the 2.5 if I knew all these injuries had happened. When I looked up, saw all these injuries, I said the Tampa Bay Bucs can only overcome so many injuries. And so I would lay the 3.5 with Seattle in a team, and I'm not a
Okay,
Seattle
you agree
fan.
with Cantu. By the way, I just want to say this before Woodley comments. He's also a Seattle homer, a bit of a homer. But I find it interesting. Well, you know what? Actually, Woodley, you go ahead. We'll hear your Seattle homer pick. I have something interesting to say, but go ahead.
mean, this was like just perfect for Mike. Mike loves nothing more than talking about injuries throughout the week, and
That's what moves the lines. Right?
I
know
will
you don't
point
know
out-
that.
If Mike
that's
sees
what
a
moves the
second,
lines.
if he sees a second offensive lineman, our phones will get blown up. Oh my God, Johnny Town without you as an example.
I will point out.
No tackles. They've got no tackles.
Injuries move the lines, buddy.
I will point
That's
out.
what moves the lines.
I would like to point out again that less than 10 days ago, Mike was frantically calling all of us, costing us a lot of entries, because he saw the Seattle Seahawks had a linebacker injured against the Saints, and the Seahawks won by 38 points. I think
I am
this,
not a Seattle fan. I think they stink.
I
When
think-
the other teams got 10 starters out with injuries,
I think.
you know.
Listen, I
Sometimes it just catches up.
took Seattle on the show last week. I'll take them again here. I think the division it's going to be a dogfight, and they have to win this game. It is at home. It's against a solid but not great team. It is against a team that is a bit banged up. I do think Baker and them are going to struggle. That is a huge home field advantage.
It's going to be a tight division.
You know, the hook worries me a little bit. I just looked at it. You can get it minus 3 at a little bit of juice at 118. I would. So yeah, 3.5, whatever we call it. I like Seattle here. I do. It's they got to win this one. This is like they win this one. I think real quick. I think if they win this one, I think they make the playoffs. If they lose it, I don't think they make the playoffs, and that's a very big thing between me and Mike personally.
Well, I expected them to fucking lose this game. I didn't know they'd get all these injuries because we have a $5,000 bet that says that they don't make the playoffs. And unfortunately, with all these injuries, I don't know how much could Tampa Bay overcome. I mean, they beat the shit out of the Eagles and still lost last week, and that was with all the injuries. So.
Now, I want to say one thing about what Mike said that's very accurate, where he said the line opened at 2.5, and it moved to 3.5. Well, you said 2 minus $1.20, but whatever, 2.5. But I don't see lines ever move across the 3 from 2.5 to 3.5. Yeah. That doesn't happen very often. For the sake of the podcast, okay, 2 things. 1, Danny, that's a unanimous pick, a consensus pick. Post it on the board. It's a consensus pick. We all agree. And we're going to give ourselves a little break, Danny. We're going to tell the people at home that they can bet it at 3 and lay $1.18. So we're going to take 3 as our official number for the podcast, minus $1.18. Now, so if the line comes at 3, we might get a tie out of this, but we deserve that. We'll lay just a little bit of extra juice. Okay, we all agree. Seattle. And by the way, Seattle's a tough place to play in.
Suck.
You know?
Team stinks.
I mean, well, okay. I
They're
mean,
3-1.
Mike, everybody stinks
3-1.
to you. I've never seen one guy say every team is dog shit.
No,
Mike.
except the Colts. The Colts are winning the Super Bowl.
And the Rams are
MVP is
the
dead.
Rams are fucking good, Bo. The Rams
That's a
are
good
good.
defense. It's a good defense, though. Can you at least admit that?
Yeah, well, I thought they were good defense until they gave up 14 points in the last 4 minutes to Kyler Murray with no running back, who couldn't even throw the ball anywhere, and they just went zip, 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 and just about won the game. So that's when I realized they're not that good.
That's coaching.
I'm not
That's
sold on
coaching.
the Rams like the rest of you guys are. I'm not sold on them.
I am sold on the Rams, by the
am.
way. I'm
Their
definitely sold on
defense
the
is a
Rams.
monster. Their offense is a monster.
Yeah. And,
Adams
we
makes
didn't have
such
a
a big
chance.
difference with Puka and Adams and the running. Their offense is great.
Yeah, and they got so lucky.
And guys,
with
I'd
us.
like to talk about that just for a minute. The Rams, Niners, and then we're going to move on. Just an extra bonus for the people at home. We had 2 picks we agreed on, and Woodley almost picked the Rams. I was looking at this board, and I was seeing 5.5. What is it now?
6.5.
Woodley?
Yeah.
6.5.
Okay, 6.5. And I just thought to myself, the Rams are so good, but the Niners are so good, but the Rams are so good, but the Niners with
Niners are
healthy
hurt.
Purdy.
They must have lost.
Right, and I just went back and forth. I really couldn't decide what to do on this one. Woodley, why don't you comment on the Rams? You almost picked them. Why did you almost pick them against the Niners?
Yeah, I mean, it's not to sound like Mike, but
There it is. Re-aggravated toe injury. Purdy's out. That's
Yeah,
the
it
only
sounded-
reason.
Oh, is
That's
he?
the
I
only
didn't
reason
know
why.
that.
It was-
I knew that.
it was
I knew it.
Okay.
it was trending like
All right,
it was
listen.
trending like Purdy wasn't going to play, but like Purdy didn't look that good. Purdy even looked pretty bad there. Anyways, I think the Rams are just a really good team. I think
Yeah.
I think losing Bosa is killer.
That's
Bosa is
absolutely.
Bosa is it's just
When they lost him, you guys
This
all
is,
said,
by the
sorry,
way, this
Phil,
is who
sorry,
else is
Phil."
out. Ready for this one? So wide receiver Ricky Pearl left the game with a knee injury. It's called a minor PCL
he's good
sprain.
too.
He's not going to be available in a short week. Juwan Jennings injured his ribs on the 2-point conversion. He was already dealing with an ankle injury. He's questionable. Linebacker D. Winters suffered a knee injury during the game.
yeah. I think it's just I think they're just it's just a tough year for them, and like they're still 3-1 or 2, whatever they are, 3-2. It doesn't matter. Losing Debo, Debo I know was like Debo was one of those guys you
Spark plug,
always had to cover him. I mean, you remember like Percy Harvin back in the Vikings. He didn't always put up the biggest numbers, but like you always drew coverage against him.
Well, now that I see all the injuries with the Rams, I mean with the San Francisco, I think you might.
I
be
would
right.
not. By the way, I do not want to play the Rams in the playoffs.
I agree with
because
that.
That quarterback,
I agree with that.
Stafford, unbelievable.
Good coach.
And I think great coaching. Yeah, I really think there's some great coaching there as well. Okay, time to switch. We're going to our last segment of the day. Now, Cantu gave such a great job. He's been kind of a little bit on fire. I wouldn't say as, you know what? Mike deserves to lead this off because I think Mike was more right than everybody
Yes.
when it comes to Survivor pool picks this week. Cantu had us all on a safe play.
I put
that
us on a
maybe
safe
may or
play.
may not have been great for us. Mikey, lead us off on the Survivor
Well,
picks if you're
well,
ready.
I am ready, and I last week was begging you all. I said this is just like you guys did the week before Seattle, and I was wrong, and you guys were right. I was like, this is a all in on the on Houston,
on Houston, and I took him a bunch of picks. I listened to you.
and I even said I love Miami, and I was going to put him on 2, but I ended up putting Houston on all of them and put Miami on 1. So I avoided all the chalk last week, and both of mine won pretty easily. Going into this week, the chalk is 100% going to be Arizona, but this game opened 9.5. It's been bet down to 7. I watched that Arizona team versus Seattle last week. I thought they were just horrific until the last 4 minutes. And this is a team with no running back, no Connor, a defense that doesn't look that good. This is a perfect spot where Tennessee could get their first win. I am staying away from the chalk on Arizona this week. And I used 3 Colts already. I'm going to use 2 on the Colts this week against
I don't like it.
the Raiders. And there's a lot, this was a spot where the Giants opened 1. The Saints have been bet to 2. They lost Malik Neighbors, the rookie quarterback, on the road. I mean, you might be able to sneak a couple of survivors here on the Saints, who played the Bills pretty damn tough last week. no neighbors, rookie quarterback, Saints desperate for a win. I'm telling you, I might take a couple Saints.
Okay. Let me just say this, Cantu, you've been pretty sharp on this, but let me just say this. In my league, in the big splash, okay, there's still 11,000 people left. So it might be time to use somebody like the Saints.
I'm going to use some Rams.
I don't know if I'm going to use it. And a lot of my other leagues have 100 players left. Go ahead, Cantu. What were you going to say?
Too.
Just like the Saints, yeah. I mean, you're just flipping a coin with the Giants. It's close. Sure, you can maybe get away with one there, but to say like the Saints are desperate for a win,
I said one or two.
They're 0-4. They're 0-4. The Giants are winless. I mean,
the Giants are 1-3.
Are the Giants 1-3? Okay, sorry, I forgot they won.
Yeah.
They did win last week. I guess desperate for a win. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's desperate for any wins. In fact, they should be more desperate to lose. If they're really smart, you'd be desperate to lose. But as I was getting some updated Purdy toe injury talk, because I've got 10 picks. I think I'm managing right now, or maybe it's 9. I still have all left in, but I'm going. This is the last spot to use Arizona. So if you still have Arizona picks or a couple picks, this is a good spot to use them. I have 2 left. I'm going to use my 2 Arizona picks out of there. Also, I am going to use, what I am going to stay away from is Indy. The reason I'm going to stay away from Indy, they have a couple spots. I just don't think the Raiders are that bad. And how the Indy blew it, they make me nervous that this could just be the end of this hot start. The Raiders have great defense. I'm
not using any Indy. I'll tell you that.
I'm saving Indy personally for when they have Tennessee at home on week 8. That's what I'm doing with that.
Yeah,
the other 2 I'm going with is I love Minnesota for Survivor this week. This is one of the very last spots. There is a spot where they have the Giants like in week, I forget what it is, like 15 or 16. Yeah, or real late, 17. This is for a long time. This is the last time to use Minnesota. I'm going to put 2 of my picks on Minnesota. I am also going to take 1 pick now that I heard Purdy's out on the Thursday night game with the Rams. The problem with using the Rams is there's a lot.
So dumb. Dude, that's the worst.
Let me finish. There's a lot of easy spots to use the Rams.
Dude,
the reason I'm using the Rams is I just want to give 1 pick through. I mean, you could say Detroit. Sure, you could put 1 on Detroit. I like to make sure I have 1 safe one in case the world ends that I know is going to win.
Yeah,
so
the
it's
Rams.
Not like 1 out of 10. Is it?
Dude,
like,
the Rams play at home against the Saints. They play against Carolina. They have like 2 other I
agree.
Right.
I agree.
have
I
to
said
keep-
1.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the more I look about this, the more that you guys used all of your Seattle 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we didn't though.
I'm kind of real. I'm an injury.
No, we
person,
didn't. You
and
talked us off Seattle.
And so I'm going to use some Seattle here, even though I'm a big Baker fan and a big Tampa Bay fan. But how many injuries can they overcome?
I think it's a homer week for us. I think you got to go. I'll do a little bit of Arizona. You just kind of have to, right?
I'm going to take
Arizona,
a few, but I'm not.
Here's the thing: Arizona's not that bad. I mean, that Titans team's a disaster, but I like and it's a homer thing, but you kind of have to use them now. You got to use Minnesota here. You get that Browns team.
I might even put.
I don't see a lot of scenarios they lose that. And I don't see a lot of scenarios where Seattle loses either. And that's it. I feel very good about those 2. I actually think both those won't be super popular either. So you can do a bit
Arizona's
different.
Chalk.
I might save my.
Well, I used a lot of Arizona in week 1 actually. So like, I actually don't have a lot of. Yeah,
David Baker reached out. He goes, last week. He goes, congratulations to all you geniuses who used Arizona in week 1 and 2. You guys are smart. This is when Arizona was getting killed last week by Seattle. He goes, because this Arizona team stinks, right? And then they came back. Then they came back and tied the game and lost. But he's right. They're not very good.
Yeah, but the Titans can't beat them. The Titans are a disaster.
What do you mean by not very good? I think they're a nice 9-18.
They're not good.
9.
No,
they're an 8-9.
not without Connor. Losing Connor showed last week.
And they were getting dominated though. And like this, listen, this is a theme in the NFL. Like they came back, but the Vikings were down 24-6 as well. Like they were dead in the water. And like you said, they somehow were 20 yards away with 40 seconds left to tie it. Like for some reason, these coaches
teams quit playing for some reason this year.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
And Seattle did that too.
Except Detroit.
What do you mean quit playing?
Well, Seattle let them back in the game for no reason.
Sit on the
Cantu, he
lead,
means
yeah.
when the score's
Like
24-6.
the Rams were up
Oh, I see
27-6 over Philadelphia, and somehow they got 2 blocked field goals, and they quit playing, and somehow the Rams lost that game 2 weeks ago.
I see what you're saying, Rick. Quit playing. Yeah.
That's all. Teams
Yeah,
that
you
lead
know-
the whole game and then lose, like Vegas led the whole game last week and lost.
That
one really hurt.
We
That
had
one really
so
hurt.
many picks on them too, and
The
that,
upset. Here's the
But
upset.
how about the
I
fact
like.
that the Bears were using 2 second-string cornerbacks and a third? That's who was playing against Geno Smith. The 2 second-stringers and a third got all the picks.
Here's an upset pick that I don't like it for people that still have Buffalo. I do not like using Buffalo against New England this week.
No, I wouldn't use them.
Buffalo is a team when they play bad teams. They're like a cat that likes to play with their food. They don't like to just go and just win easy. They play with their
14-1 when laying double digits. They are the last 16. Buffalo.
They like to play with their food. They don't like to put teams away. They play with their competition. So I don't like them this week.
Agree. What I'm hearing, you guys, and I haven't studied this. I spent a lot of time looking at the lines, but Arizona sounds like a smart move for a lot of reasons this week. So I'm going to be leaning a little bit towards.
But they're the
them.
chalk. They're going to be the chalk. I mean, Tennessee's going to win a game.
I don't agree with.
They're not going to go 0-17.
I don't agree with you that it's going to be that chalky. Most people have used their Arizona. There's already been 3 weeks where you could use them already. I mean, what do you mean by chalk? 20%? 22%?
30%.
Sure. No,
28 to 30.
They will not be 30. That's too high. So they'll be about 2022. Low 20s.
How much you want to bet over the 22? I'm willing to bet anybody here.
How much do you want to bet under the 30? I'll bet under the 30. Of course, you take my number, not yours. I'll bet
I
under
said
30.
28%. They'll be 28% owned. They'll be the highest owned team for sure.
I'll bet you under 28%. If you want to bet that.
I don't know.
300.
How many
A little $300 bet, Mike.
Okay.
300. Under 28%. I'm writing it down.
But isn't it a good time to use? New Orleans?
I mean, why do you think they're gonna win?
Yeah.
I like the fact that the line has moved 3 points.
Well, let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. I'm talking about again in my 11,000
Yeah.
field. That's where I'm thinking about using them. Because there's just so many teams you have to beat, and you have to. I think if you're going to win,
Well,
that
you have to
one-
use 2 teams.
I mean, Carolina at Pick'em, the Dolphins just lost Hill. That run defense was so bad yesterday, and the Jets lost by 6 with 3. They couldn't have played any worse. They shot themselves. Did you see what the wide receiver said? He says most teams shoot themselves in the foot. We shot ourselves in the head, and they only lost by 6.
Yeah,
I don't think much of Miami at all.
That splash one, you have to start taking 2 teams a week starting in week 10, which means you have to take like 26 of the 30 some odd teams. I don't know
how
though,
many picks
Phil.
do you still have on
that
the
Giants team? That
splash?
Giants team is like that. Dart looked pretty good, man. I don't know.
Dart did look good.
It's a tough one.
Dart did look good.
I have 8 picks left in the 150 buy-in one. Those are my picks. I have one 5K that the podcast has a piece of left still, and I keep posting. I keep posting what I'm picking.
I think you should do one of the 8. Do it for fun. I think it's a good fun pick. It unloads.
That's what I'm thinking. One of the 8.
Do it. I like it. I'm behind
one
it.
of the 8. One of the 8 where I've already used some chalk.
Yeah.
I got away with. I think I used Miami for one of the 8 this week, and I think I used the Patriots, and so I kind of felt like I snuck those through, which is good. Okay, guys, great podcast, the Fade Us Sports Podcast. Apparently, you should bet against Phil Hellmuth, who's 2-6. Don't bet against Mike Matusow, who's 7-1. Mike Matusow, see you next week on the Fade Us Sports Podcast. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.